Mr. Mayor, we live.
Great. Thank you for that. Today is October 19th, 2022, and the time is 7:09 p.m. And I am calling to order the Baldwin Park City Council regular meeting. Pastor Jackson, do you mind leading us in an invocation?
Father, we come to you in the name of the Lord. We're looking for your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding. According to your word, many plans in a man's heart, but only that you establish will stand. And we have an election that's coming up, and we need your wisdom in touching the hearts and the minds of the people for that. We have turmoil that's going around the world, Lord, and we're asking you, Lord God, to bring forth peace, that peace of God throughout the whole world, touching our government and giving our president the right decision, the things to do to make it right for this nation in the name of the Lord. We're asking you to touch in the city council meeting, Father God, our mayor and all the councils, Lord God, and giving them the understanding of what they need to do for the city. Father, we have our schools, Lord, and our children, Lord God, and we have a lot of other things that's going on with our children outside the school and inside the schools, Lord, where there are gangs and there are drugs and breaking the power of that thing. And Father, as I look around the room, I see a lot of police officers here, Lord God, some that's going to be indoctrinated to services, Lord God, and also putting a hedge of protection around about them and bringing unity and peace and one accord in the police department, Father. We're asking you, Lord, to touch our soldiers that are abroad and our fire department, Lord, and our businesses that are here, Lord. We need your help and we need your hand, and we're asking for it. In the name of the Lord, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Hello, Marie. How are you doing?
Hi, good evening.
Good. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Please place your right hand over your heart. Face the flag. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to
Take allegiance to the flag
the States of
of
America,
the United States of America,
for which it
and
stands,
to the republic for which it stands,
God,
one nation, under God,
liberty.
indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may go ahead and take a seat. City Clerk, can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Alejandra Avila. Here. Councilmember Monica Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Here.
Mayor Manuel Estrada.
Here. Thank you for that, City Clerk. City Attorney, do we have anything to report out from closed session, which has not closed?
Thank you, Mayor. Earlier tonight, the City Council convened as a special session to discuss only the closed session items. There were 9 matters on the closed session agenda. City Council did not get to all of the matters, and so they will be reconvening the special meeting to review the final 3 matters. But with respect to the matters that were on the agenda, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, pursuant to section 54956.9 D2 and E1, I should add. There were 2 potential cases for discussion, and we have no reportable action. No action was taken. There was also the matter of Ruckley versus City of Baldwin Park, Cetina Huerta Jimenez Parra versus City of Baldwin Park, and Christopher Kuberry Hemingway Finley versus City of Baldwin Park. City Council heard a presentation from council on all of those items, and we have no reportable action. They provided direction. The final 3 items will be reconvening to discuss. I should also add that all members were present. However, with respect to the matter in Kuberry, Hemingway, and Finley, I should note that Mayor Pro Tem Damian recused himself due to a conflict of interest and did not participate in the discussion of that matter. That concludes the report.
Great. Thank you for that, City Attorney. An important announcement. City Council are also members of the Board of Directors of the Housing Authority and Finance Authority, which are concurrently convening with the City Council this evening, and each council member is paid an additional stipend of $30 for attending the Housing Authority meeting and $50 for attending the Finance Authority meeting. At this moment, we will move to proclamations, commendations, and presentations, and we will be doing a staff introduction and oath of office for our police officers. So at this moment, I am going to go ahead and ask those officers to come and join us up on the dais right here in front of this table. Yeah. All right. So, Alejandra, you're going to hold this microphone for me? Yeah. All right. So, before real quick, we'll do some introductions. We'll do some officers. So, I'm going to assume that they're all new officers. So, we have Officers Carlos Mendez, Officer Jose Acosta, Officer Scott Rapp, Officer Ana Balver. And then we have Sergeants Noé Cervantes, Sergeant Philip Wenner, Sergeant Jose Castro, Sergeant William Sendejas, Sergeant Tony Gamboa, Sergeant Matthew Balsano, and we have Lieutenants Evan Martinez and Lieutenant Jeremy Cross. Oh, sorry, Martin. They didn't fix this one. Lieutenant Evan Martin. Go ahead and ask you to raise your right hand. After me. After me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Congratulations.
Good evening, everybody. Just wanted to say thank you to the families, thank you to the friends, thank you to everybody that's here to witness a very important occasion for this department. It's historical. Promote 6 sergeants and 3 lieutenants to this position here is historical. It hasn't been done before, and so we're seeing something that's really important to the community. In addition, this wouldn't be possible without the vision and the support of the City Council. This present City Council has supported this department from the beginning and has made a difference so that I have the opportunity to make these promotions, in addition to hiring 8 police officers. We have vacancies that were filled by the promotions that we made and the things that we were doing, doing our hirings to the standards of what the community is expecting. So it's my thanks to the council, thanks to the community for your support. This is going to continue. We're still shy of our goals, but we're getting there, and we're going to make a difference. So again, thank you to the officers. Thank you for being here, for, the process that you all went through in order to get to this position, from the lieutenants to the sergeants to the officers. Thank you. And I think, again, you can't do it without the support of the family. Please understand that it's going to be a tough time for all, as you all know about law enforcement. We miss special occasions, we miss birthdays, we miss anniversaries, those kind of things. Not because we intentionally do it, it's because that's what we do for a living. But my thanks to you again for your support, for your vision and your understanding and your patience. It's a tough life. I lived it for 40 years with LAPD. I know the process, but this is a great organization. I'm very proud to be part of it. So thank you to you all. So we'll start off with Officer Anna Balver. She comes from Los Angeles Police Department, the Academy. She's a resident of La Puente and chose Baldwin Park PD as she is drawn to the family-oriented police department working class community. Anna has an associate degree in criminal justice. And I do get nervous when I'm speaking in front of people, so please forgive me. Also, Scott Rapp, he grew up in Chino Hills, California, and obtained a bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering at Cal State. What a unique jump from aerospace to law enforcement. Thank you for being here. He spent 4 years serving our country in the United States Navy, serving as a rescue swimmer. So amazing. Officer Jose Acosta grew up in West Covina and graduated from Rio Hondo Police Academy this past October. Acosta is also an entrepreneur who owns his own business and is a car enthusiast. Jose. Officer Carlos Mendez. Mendez is also a graduate of Rio Hondo and grew up in Pico Rivera. Mendez is currently working on his bachelor's degree and has an interest in working gangs and improving the quality of life of the residents of Baldwin Park. Sergeant Matthew Balzano has been with the Baldwin Park Police Department since January of 2020. Prior to that, he served a combined 13 years working for both Imperial and Whittier Police Departments. Some specialty assignments his work include field training officer, corporal, range master, taser instructor, and patrol rifle instructor. So welcome, Sergeant. Sergeant Tony Gamboa. Sergeant Gamboa started his law enforcement career as a dispatcher for the Baldwin Police Department. He was hired as a police officer in 2006 and has been a canine handler, a police detective, training officer, and SWAT operator. So thank you for that. Sergeant Jose Castro. Sergeant Castro has been with the Baldwin Park Police Department since 2013. Since that time, he has been a gang detective, SWAT operator, a field training officer, explorer advisor, and range master. Sergeant Philip Wenner has been with the Baldwin Park Police Department for 10 years. During that time, he has served as a patrol officer, field training officer, and detective. He's currently a member of the department's Pride Platoon, which is our boot camp program that we run here at Baldwin Park, which I'm very proud of, and for at-risk youth. And he's also an integral part of our homeless outreach team that we have here as well. So thank you, Phil. Sergeant Noé Cervantes. Sergeant Cervantes has been with the Baldwin Park Police Department for 21 years. He has had the opportunity to be a gang detective task force officer with HIDA, which is a task force group, a field training officer, and a corporal. He's a proud father of 6 who loves to spend time with his family and has just recently had a young daughter. What is it, 2 months ago? Yeah, about 2 months ago. So. Lieutenant Evan Martin. Lieutenant Martin comes to us with over 30 years of law enforcement experience, majority of that with the Los Angeles Police Department, in addition to Costa Mesa and La Palma PD. He's a graduate of Cal State Long Beach and with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And he's got a wealth of knowledge relative to the things that we're looking to improve here in Baldwin Park. So thank you, Evan. Last but not least, Jeremy Cross. Jeremy, Jeremy comes from Vernon PD and has over 18 years of law enforcement experience. Lieutenant Cross also serves as a police academy coordinator at Rio Hondo Police Academy, so we have an in. So at least we do have an in, right? Sure. So anyway, he holds a master's degree in business administration. So as you can see, thank you, Jeremy. So as you can see, the selection is based on everything that the knowledge that we need to improve our process, to do a better, improve our service for the community, and make sure that we make it a safe place. There's a lot of things that this council has done and is projecting to do in the future for our businesses, our parks, and those kind of things. So I want to make sure that we're involved in that and that we police to that safety aspect that we're looking at. So again, my thanks to the council. Thanks to you, the officers, and I'll present you with the, okay. Thank you. So I'll pass these out. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We definitely want to welcome you to the Baldwin Park Police Department. And if you're already here, we're excited to see you grow. I know I've spent some time with some of you, especially Sergeant Wenner. We were out there with the sheriffs in the riverbed, learning about things, and it's always great to see our officers always striving to learn and making our city better. So I'm thankful. I'm also thankful for always being communicative and making it easy to work with the Baldwin Park Police Department. And for the newer staff, we're very excited to have you here. We're very proud of you. We want to thank your families for letting you join our department, best department in the Valley. I promise you. You also got a cool mayor too. So, but beyond that, we're very excited. We're working hard to make sure that we have a strong and supportive police department. We're making sure that we show the community what a great police department can look like, and I am confident that each and every single one of you will show our community a great relationship we can have with them. Thank you.
I also want to take this moment to congratulate every single one of you. Congratulate all the new officers coming into our city. You are going to love it here, I can guarantee you. And congratulations to all of those that have gotten a promotion, well deserved. I'm sure it should have happened some time ago, but it's here now. So congratulations. I'm very excited to have you all here working together in this great community. But I want to thank their family because it's not easy. I have a niece in LAPD, I always say, and I hear my sister, whenever the LAPD is on the news, Alex, did you see what's on the news? And she's all scared. She's getting used to it. So thank you. Thank you for lending us your family members, brothers, sisters, uncles, whatever they are to you. Thank you. They mean the world to us, and so do you. They're not only our family now, but so are you. So you are welcome here anytime. I would like for all of you to please give our new officers and the promotions a standing ovation, please. And with that, I hope to see the families whenever we have community events here. Come and join us. They're a lot of fun. While your loved ones are working, you can be having fun along with us. Okay, so thank you and welcome. Congratulations again.
Very quickly, as the outgoing city clerk, but former city council member, I congratulate you all. Even though I'm outgoing, I'm still living here in Baldwin Park, and I expect to retire here. I just want to congratulate you. And the program that the chief mentioned, the Pride Platoon, is very near and dear to my heart. That is a program that I brought to the city when I was on city council to address the issues of the youth going in the wrong direction. So if your parents are here, I congratulate you because your kids, because there'll always be kids to them, went in the right direction. And so that's what we want to do with the youth of our community. And you're going to have that impact on those individuals. So thank you very much and welcome to Baldwin Park.
Mayor. Marlene,
Marie.
may I say something? I would like to welcome all the new officers, and I also would like to close our meeting on memory of a former finance director from Lupe Villela. She passed away 2 weeks ago. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. We certainly will take care of that. First and foremost, I want to recognize our colleague, our instructor and friend from Covina, Mayor Pro Tem, Walter Allen. Thank you for everything that you've helped us to educate, assist us. So again, thank you for that. As a former director of public safety, I understand the value of safety and feeling safe in our community. First and foremost, you're now part of our community. You always have been, for those that have been here for quite some time. So what I'm really excited about today is, more importantly, is the opportunity of actually doing community policing, being out of your patrols, speaking with the residents, speaking with our business owners and our students that we have. So this is an opportunity for you to be able to make sure that you make a positive impact on the individuals that you're interacting. I understand that sometimes you may not have the best interactions with certain individuals because of, for whatever reasons they may have, but I understand that, every one of you have a compassion. That's the reason for why you join law enforcement, because you want to help others. But with that, I want to thank you for taking this bold career for the new ones, and for those that moved up in the ranks. You are now part of our leadership, as you always were, and that includes the ones that are starting off. You have an opportunity to make sure that the rank and files and your colleagues understand the direction and the culture that we want to have, one that is open, one that is progressive, one that is helpful. So I leave you with those words because, again, the reason for why we all do what we try to do is we're trying to help and uplift others. And of course, to the family members, thank you again. As the council member said, this is a great opportunity. We are certainly happy and thankful that you allowed them to be part of our family. And as we stated earlier, you're now part of our family. So we hope to see you at future events. Thank you.
Mayor? Mayor, I'd like to congratulate these officers and welcome the new officers to our community. I also want to congratulate the family who have been there to support, encourage, and who will be there moving forward to support these officers. And I just want to say that Baldwin Park is a wonderful community. I echo my colleagues' comments and want to add to Councilmember Hernandez's comments in that we are all here to serve this community and uplift our community and the members of our community. And so I hope that you'll have a very positive experience, and I hope that you will feel the support from this council and also from your chief and others in the department, as well as across the organization that is the City of Baldwin Park. And I just want to also just end, saying that I look forward to promoting a safe Baldwin Park and, seeing you out there. And you're absolutely a reflection of the city. So wear that badge with great honor and, the will to serve the community, compassion, of course. But we look forward to working with you and ensuring that our community is safer because you're here. Thank you.
Mayor, I'll make mine brief. First of all, to all of our newly sworn officers, welcome to the City of Baldwin Park. We are excited to finally see more of our police officers being hired and being brought out to the community. To our current police officers that have been with the City of Baldwin Park, congratulations on your promotions, very well deserved. Look forward to continuing to work with you and support our police department in any way possible. So again, congratulations to all of you and to the families. Thank you very much.
Just a reminder that we are moving towards a stronger community-based policing process. Again, with the numbers that we're getting now, the staffing that we're getting, that we will achieve that, so that we are getting out of the police cars, we are engaging with our community members and doing that on a regular basis. That's my direction, and that's where we're going to go. So you're absolutely right. We're already beginning that process, We will continue to strengthen that with the days to come. Thank you.
Thank you. And then, of course, we want to acknowledge our chief. Chief, you've been here almost 2 years? Over 2 years. He keeps breaking records here. It's crazy. So there's a lot of wood everywhere. Don't worry about it. So before we finish celebrating you all, I want to ask our officers to go to the front. We'll take a nice picture with them, and then we'll get as many of you as possible in there. But first, a nice formal picture with our officers and the council, and then we'll move on to the families.
So now, the families, if you can come up and stand right here in the front, find your police officer, and let's play find your police officer and stand in front of them so you can take a picture right here, right in the front. Some of you may have a lot, so let's squeeze in there. So if we can... Officers, come to the front so they can find you. They can stand right in front of you. They're still setting up to my right. So if you all set up in front of your police officers, we're going to take a great big picture. Where's your officers? Carlos Mendez, where are you? There you are. If you can squeeze in over here, come on over here. Aquí, mire, aquí enfrente. Carlos. All right, so now there is a reception next door at the Arc for our officers and our families. If you need to, if you would like to take a picture up here, by the city emblem, you could do that, officers, with your family. We have about 10 minutes for you guys to do that. You want to do that? Yes. Yes. Go ahead. Walk them over there.
the angle. Hey, Chief. Thank you. Big day for you, man. Yes, sir. Get in that picture. Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations on the promotion. Did you want to take a Chief, they want to take a picture?
You mind, sir?
Nice snacks over here.
No.
The M&M's from original. No, I mean like.
And he loves it. That's actually one of my best friends. And I asked him, and then I asked Lily, and took a picture and donated to her. And every year she gets one. So I told her.
That's awesome. I know I was so excited.
So I'm going to take the picture from back here.
Congratulations.
Wait, you want me to bring this down?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want anybody getting sick. I'm loving it.
So you're the connection, sir?
I'm the connection.
All right.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Also military, also special forces. Yeah, again, I want to take one. And I'm right next door.
Oh, you're
I'm on the city council there. I'm the mayor pro tem this year. Yeah.
awesome.
I've had a great relationship with you guys for a long time.
Wow, that's the first
We
time
look
I'm
out
looking
for each other.
Yes, absolutely. You
Yeah.
have to because
We're doing good things in your city. We're looking at also doing a cultural.
so you want to start the process as soon as
We're starting that. Yeah.
Nice going, Jeremy. Congratulations.
I thought you started.
Congratulations.
You are.
Oh, yeah.
Veronica.
You guys don't need to take a picture? Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Sure.
You're the star.
I'm gonna go down here, Paul, and take the picture.
You
And
want
then
to
I'm
take
gonna.
the picture with him, or you?
I took it. He took it.
Mayor, I love your council. Have you met each other? Yeah.
I just met him right now.
We just met. It's a pleasure. Pleasure. We love working with the chief and all the
He is amazing, and we laugh every time that he's breaking the record because you are
Okay.
I'll have your.
Oh, seriously.
Thank you. No problem.
By the way, I love your city council chambers. I wish ours looked this nice. Really? What? Oh, I can't wait to see what you guys do.
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Very well. You're going to still be in the same room, but they're just doing a makeover, huh?
They're going to have brand new seats, the coloring of the walls, the paneling. This is going to go. This is horrible.
Oh yeah, this
This
is,
makes you dizzy.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of El Monte
It's kinda hurts
Courthouse.
your eyes, doesn't
It gets you dizzy if you just look up. So we're remodeling it soon. This is all. Look at this is horrible.
Oh, by the way, this you couldn't have hired a better
Let me
city
tell you.
attorney.
Just your reporting alone was so different. So different.
Hey, I miss you, man. I miss you, brother. Me too. You're a good man. How's everything? It's good. It's good. John's doing good.
Yeah, I do.
It is a pleasure again meeting you.
Likewise.
If you need anything from Covina or want to do anything, like I said, we're working on Quiet Zone. I know you guys have
And
been.
now you tell me you're on the Metro seat.
I'm an alternate member. Catherine Barger, I'm her representative.
You better not get that Quiet before us.
Yeah, no. You guys don't have it before us.
Well, hold them for a second, okay?
We're Quiet Zone kind of ready that our crossings have been upgraded, but we have more work to do. Hey, sir.
Hey, I know you, sir.
Good to see you, man.
And you guys are from Alhambra. Hi,
I'm from
nice to meet you.
working at Canada.
I'm glad we have the connection.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of connections. I look up Alhambra all the time.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited because as you know, we're still shore officers.
I saw him.
He says we're still playing baseball.
Yeah, he says.
I recruited one from this
You
last
still
class. I caught 90 of the 3.
You're a catcher?
Yeah.
You recruited?
You guys are playing fast.
I'm an RT up there. I use the yellow. And I thought, arm instructor.
They can shoot.
One or two, like, we need to know how if they have to.
I know when.
He had a meniscus.
So we do a plan.
Yes. We want him to be safe.
I don't know. I haven't seen him since he had surgery. So
Let me tell you what, he's good people.
I told you, might as well have him.
There's a reception right next door. So go enjoy. Yes,
I don't
please.
want that.
Can you remind everybody of the reception next door?
See you later.
Right? There's a reception
You
right
still got a meeting.
We still have a meeting, yes. Want me to come up? Greg, can you
Sure.
bring the kids up here? Bring the kids up.
All right. So, are we bringing them up all the way here? Okay.
Oh,
We're bringing
kids.
the tough kids up here.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I remember you. I remember you.
You guys didn't come to us. We came to you. Check this out. Turn around, Maya. Show me your gear.
You are
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
I'm a man.
Oh, what do you have?
Okay, give me more space. Oh yeah, unless you want to do 2.
Very nice. Where's Mr. Mendoza?
Total one's in the front.
Is he here?
Right here, right here.
Is he here?
Now you guys continue.
No, he's not here today.
No, I don't think he's here today. Huh? No, I run the meetings, which means that I use this in case people want to listen and just back up. Same thing, right? Like people get out of. Huh? Oh, nice. Okay. Because I hear all the time, so I have to eat something. Okay, ready? Hold on, okay? Let's see. Okay.
You can't see them?
You guys ready? Okay. So we have some special guests today. The Tough Kids came out, and they're gonna pay attention to our agendas. What I hear, they're gonna lobby for some good votes. But they also want to show off their new uniforms. They have the city logo on them and their backpacks.
And we're going to have to pick some of them up, Coach Greg, because they can't see them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Adam. Since you're the mayor of Tough Kid Land.
There you go.
Okay, look at their uniforms with the city logo. They do wrestle at Morgan Park. And this last Saturday, you had a tournament, correct? How did you do at that tournament?
We took 11. We placed 10 in the top 3, and the other one was a 4th place. You want me to do it too? All right. Oh, no. All right. This is one of our Tiny Tots. He's in our Tiny Tot program, which is 3 and 4-year-olds. They practice on Wednesdays. Yeah, I know.
Hi.
All right. Okay. And,
If you're interested in going to see their practices, they're at Morgan Park. Way in the back behind the gym, they have a cool wrestling room in there.
And the Savila came to visit us. It was a fun trip. She got to see him wrestle. Boys and girls. Where's come here, Leanna. This is one of my toughies. So girls do wrestle too.
She wrestled this weekend, right?
She wrestled this weekend. She took one of our 4th place.
All right.
Tournament. We were about 45 clubs there, and we did very well. We have a Tiny Tots programs, 3 and 4-year-olds. On Wednesdays, we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with the 4 to 14. We have the high school open for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for Ballin Park High School and Sierra Vista. And hopefully in the next month or so, we'll have the adult program for the police and firemen to come in on Saturday morning. That's the plan before the end of the year. So I just wanted to bring the kids down here. I know the city hall is very busy, so they didn't come to see us, so we came to see them, right?
And Coach, how long has Tough Kids? Coach, how long has Tough Kids been in existence?
This year will be 22 years in Ballin Park, and we got I believe it's a 10-year lease at Morgan Park, so it'll be another 10 years.
All right.
At least, as long as my joints hold up. Okay, all right. So now one more to lift. I don't know if I can lift her. Let me see.
Oh boy.
She has an invite. Where's your invite?
Right here.
You got an invite? That's for Mr. Mendoza. We're gonna have invite your teacher night on November 2nd, right? So all the teachers are invited from every school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, say it. I invite all the teachers.
I'm gonna invite all the teachers to come watch us wrestle.
We do have our assistant
Superintendent.
vice superintendent.
Oh, she could give that to Mr. Mendoza.
Miss Salazar.
Miss Salazar. Dr. Salazar.
Go take it to her. She's right there. All right.
Angela.
Wait.
That's Miss
So-
Angela. Okay.
The last question. Where's Leanna at?
Right here.
Okay. All right.
Bueno.
All right, you good there?
Bueno.
You all right?
Bueno.
So, okay, all right. So, this is one of my heavy hitters right here. This is Maya. You're 4, Maya? 4? She's 4 years old. She's ready to go, so show your muscles, All right.
Coach, can you introduce our former Tough Kids, which are now our coaches here, please?
What's great, the kids come back to coach with us. We have Luna Baez here. She wrestled for me almost 15 years ago. She's a girls coach back with us. Carlos Sanchez, he's He graduated
I
last year.
invited
He's
you
back
here.
with us. He wrestled for
Yes.
Tough Kids for almost 8 years. Our other coach that's dealing with the high school right now is Adam Lopez. He wrestled for me almost 20 years ago, and he's the varsity coach at Sierra Vista High School now. And he's actually, this is, she's Adam's mom. So he's at the high school right now dealing with the high school match and that. But when they don't have the room at the gym over there, which has been problems over the years, Baldwin Park don't have a gym now. They have a place to practice with us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now. So that's what we plan to do with that room. And Manny's not here, but since where's Leanna? Right here. So Manny's not here, but Maria's here. You see that lady right there? Everybody has this question every day. So go on and ask Maria.
When are we going to swim?
Tell her. Swim. Tell her.
When are we gonna go into swim?
They're working on it. Okay, they're working on it. Okay, that's been the question since August 1st. So, I want to thank the mayor, the city. There was a major grant that was implemented for us this year, which there's about, right now we're at 60 kids total in Tough Kids right now as of today, and about 32 or 34 of them are utilizing the grant that was implemented this year so they could wrestle free. So their registration has been paid for by the city of Baldwin Park for the next 6 months. So I want to thank Baldwin Park. I want to thank everybody for the room, for the facility, for all the help Manny and the Parks has given me, and I couldn't ask for more. I just wanted to bring the kids down, so they were a little was it cabin fever in the room, so I said let's go take a walk, you know. So we came down to take a walk, and Mayor, if we could take a picture in front, we'll get out of your hair.
Okay. Yeah. How about we take a, you know what? Yeah, let's take a picture over there, and then we can have them sit on the bench.
All right, let's go over there, you guys.
Get in the line, get in the line.
Go.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. He's your cousin? Okay, let's get out of here. All right, you can take one more. Go ahead. Oh. Get out. All right.
Nice seeing you again, miss.
Nice seeing you too.
And I want to call you Loco.
I got a text here.
No, get up, right there. Adam, right here. Adam, King Adam, right here. All right.
As long as I can get up here. Here, next.
All right. Down a little bit. Down a little bit.
And
All right.
Thursday. Ideas were
Like somebody left back.
That was not planned.
You were sitting there before?
I was. Yes. Well, how's this thing? You got it from the safety one? It's not staying. Let's see. It's supposed to go. This one is the one that needs to go in next. Yeah. Let me see. Let me get more. All right. Situated.
There you go. Here, let me help. There we go.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right.
I'd be able. Of course, of course, of course.
That's mine. It's because they were like looking at all the stuff on my desk. So I just gave them a little bit of stuff. I probably riled them up more with the sugar, huh? All right. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and continue. Believe it or not, council chambers sometimes get louder for worse reasons. So,
This is great. This is
but
a
yes,
good reason to get
nice
out.
to have visitors. So we're gonna go ahead and open up public communications. If you are looking to speak, you may go ahead. Yes, don't forget to turn on the mic, okay?
All right. Mayor, City Council, City Clerk. I guess the chief is not here, but good evening.
Good evening.
I am here in behalf of the American Legion. My name is Rudy Avalar, United States Air Force veteran, Persian Gulf. I am here to request for an extension of our grant. We sent a written request through the Department of Housing. I don't know if you received it. If you didn't receive it, I hope you accept this as a formal request. Our grant will be terminated as of the 26th, which is next week. So I am requesting for an extension. Next thing is the business license. We started our renovation at our post with 4 contractors that started our job. The quotes were sent to the city, approved. They did the work. We submitted the invoices and they got paid. And then the housing came down and said that we needed a business license. This was not told from us from the beginning. It was not part of the stipulation on the grant. So I am asking for a waiver for these 4 vendors that already did their job. Now, any other contractor that comes in, we will mandate that they have a business license. The next thing is for our chief, but he's not here. I will still address it. Our safety or our security system was updated 6 months ago. It turned out to be too good. So any movement within the building triggers the alarm system. So we have we have multiple false alarms, and we're asking for a waiver on those false alarms. The next thing is the Thanksgiving. We're requesting any donations from the city for our Thanksgiving dinners. We have not only for our vets, but it's for the community too. So whoever needs a Thanksgiving dinner, just come on in, take it home, or you could eat it there. So let me recap. I am requesting for an extension on the grant, the waiver on the business license. Let me extend on the business license. Because we didn't have business license, our funds were frozen. One of our contractors did not get paid because the funds were frozen. So they threatened us to get sued. And in order for us not to get sued, we paid them off out of our pocket. So we're in the hole right now. So we need that funds unfrozen, please.
Sorry, sir, your time is up.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. And then I
Please
know-
give me a call on what your request, our request, what you guys say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rudy.
And I did bring that up at the last meeting, so we want to make sure we can take care of that.
Yes, and that's on the CEO's desk for signature.
Great, thank you. Chief Deputy City Clerk, is there anybody that filled out a sheet, or Chief or City Clerk, is there anybody that filled out the speaking sheet?
Yes, Mayor, we did receive 2 requests for phone call. One is Catherine Lozier, our Community Library Manager of the City of Baldwin Park Library. She would like to provide library updates. So we will call her now.
Hello. Hi, Catherine. This is Lulu from calling from the City of Baldwin Park regarding your request to speak.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sure. Whenever you'd like, your time will start as soon as you start speaking.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the Council community. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak tonight. I wanted to announce a program that we'll be having in person on Friday, October 28th from 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is a bilingual English-Spanish story time with Mama Maestra. It's a performer event. There will be music and stories for little ones in both Spanish and English, and this is for children ages 3 to 5 and their parents and caretakers. More to come on that morning's event. Then October is our annual Teen Read Month event. We have a special reading program just for teens. It's a bingo program. Teens may read any books or participate in library programs or services, and they can check off their bingo sheet, get 5 squares in a row, either vertically, horizontally, or diagonally, and they can bring in the sheet to their nearest library and be entered into a drawing for prizes. And then we also have our community feedback sessions still in progress. Our last one will be taking place on Wednesday, October 26th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. This is gathering members of Supervisory District 2, but all members from any district are welcome to join. We definitely want to hear from you. And this community session will have live virtual chat as well as virtual real-time polls, and participants have an opportunity to share their input on upcoming library programs, services, and materials. And anybody who participates does get entered into a drawing to win library swag, a Kindle, or gift cards which have been generously donated by the LA County Library Foundation. And then if you don't have time to attend that evening, you are welcome to fill out a survey online. And then for more information on any of our program services or materials, please visit us on the web at lacountylibrary.org, in person at the library, or give us a call at 626-962-6947. Thank you all so much for all that you do, and thank you and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Mayor, we received a second request from Paul Cook for a phone call.
Mr. Cook?
Yes, hi.
Hi, calling in regards to your request to speak at the portion of the city council meeting.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, you can start speaking and your time will start as soon as you start.
Okay. Yeah, to the members of the public, my name's Paul Cook. I'm an attorney at law, and I'm a resident of this city now for 34 plus years. And I'm just calling because I'm very glad that Robert Tafoya has been fired. He was one of the most corrupt and evil people that I knew. I've known him for 9 years, and during the time that I've known him, he's forged my signature in a case. He's cussed out me in court before. He's threatened to kill me. He's filed false restraining orders, lying to the court about stuff that I didn't do. With Mayor Lozano's case, he said that I jumped up and down on a table. He falsely accused Greg Tuttle, just a business owner that's doing right for the city, and for basically holding the city accountable when they went to Santa Barbara. And then under Robert Tafoya's direction, they falsely accused me of ramming into Rose Penn's car. On top of that, he was charging $1 million a year to the city in attorney's fees. He was a crook. He was a crook. And not only was he a crook, we told everybody at the city council that he was a crook multiple times. And so you guys were on notice. You guys knew he was a crook, and you guys kept him on because he basically did anything that you guys wanted. And that's not right. And he's basically enabled your corruption, your psychopathy, your sociopathy, and you guys don't represent the city anymore. You guys represent yourself, and you guys are super corrupt, and you guys make everybody look bad. He's made you look so bad in front of the public. Baldwin Park is known as the New York City of Bell and the Nueva Tijuana of California, or if not the United States. And, we've told you, and like I said, it's just, you guys are a corrupt city council. I am so glad you guys are being exposed. I mean, you guys have done such evil things, such as firing Julian Casas, a boxing coach working there for 20 years because he asked for a 40-cent an hour raise. No, you guys gave him a 40-cent an hour raise because you didn't give him a raise after 20 years, while you guys have given yourself outlandish raises, cars, everything. And I just hope next that Rose Tam, who's cooking the books, and Manny Carrillo, who was laundering money, you guys go down too. And I hope that Monica Garcia goes down. She's a crook, and we've been saying that, and we know Paul Hernandez is a crook, that he's basically stolen money using a Chinese developer. And I remember when he started, he's such an imposter. He's such a fraudster. He used to tell everybody he worked for the FBI. The FBI would never hire somebody like that. Just look at him. This is the only kind of position he could get to feel important about himself. And all of you guys are just stealing from the city. And we're sick and tired of it. And I'm glad you guys are being exposed. So that's my piece. And I just hope that you guys do the right thing and tell the truth and maybe confess what you've done.
Mr. Cook,
resign.
your time's up. Thank
That's
you.
what's best for the city.
Your time's up. Thank you.
Bye.
Those are all the written requests we received, Mayor.
Thank you, City Clerk. If anybody else would like to speak at this time, now is your chance.
Hello, City Council. As usual, I come here to reject those two people that aren't here. I know they gave an excuse, but it's over. We're all wearing no mask, maybe one or two people. So what the hell's their holdup? I know you guys don't have excuses for them. They make their own. Thank you. Anyhow, another complaint I have a lot of them. You guys put all these petitions on the ballot. You must have spent a couple $1 million for all these so-claimed benefits of Baldwin Park. You're not benefiting anybody, your guys' pocket. All of you guys up here that work for the city of Baldwin Park. That's all you're benefiting. You're not giving any benefit to the residents of Baldwin Park. What do you give us? More taxes? More city taxes? More taxes? Every time I hear you people speak, oh, we're getting a donation from Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam gives you nothing free. You know that. If it costs $80 million, we got to pay 20 of that. Where do you get all this money? Look at this. You got $11 million bond, so claimed, or whatever. You think it's free? No, it's not free. Nothing's free in this country. As you can find out, lawyers make all kinds of money fighting our Constitution, our civil rights, and on and on and on. One lawyer, oh, he's not here anymore. He resigned, or at least that's what they tell us. I think you people need to understand, and I'm going to say it nice and loud so everybody here. I wish all those other people would have stayed here so they could hear my remarks. You people work for all of us in the city of Baldwin Park. You don't work for any individual person that sits in this counter. You want to build a new city hall or whatever in the heck you want to build, we got to pay for it. You think it's free? If it was free, you'd have put down here $11 million free. It's not free. Another complaint I have. I want to see your police department, Mayor, show off in our neighborhood more often. I live on the other side of the freeway. I can count how many times they come through our neighborhood. And you people just hired a bunch of more guys or promoted them. I hope they do a better job. Because you guys aren't doing enough to protect us citizens of Baldwin Park.
Your time is up, sir.
You got, oh, I'm sorry. I ran out of my time, gentlemen and ladies. I know, he was going to throw me out.
John Rios, resident of Baldwin Park for 45 years. I've seen the ups and downs, okay? One of the things, finally, you got rid of the lawyer, which is beautiful. Everybody in the city is grateful for that. The worst part of it is that it had to come out in the paper again and again for you guys to do something. I told you, Mayor, 2 years ago, you have a lot of corrupt people in the city council and in city hall. Okay? You gotta listen to the old farts like myself. I'm not trying to run the city. I'm just trying to give you a piece of advice. One of the things, it's election year. Sorry to say, but I had to take El Diablo back out. You know who I mean? Yeah. Because we don't want him. I prefer you. I have problems with you, but you're learning. You're trying to listen to the community, which is good. I'm trying to work with Anthony from Public Works on the spots that are very dirty in the city. I just talked to him yesterday. He went around and saw what I was talking about. There's a lot of spots in the graffiti on the weekends, forget it. Anthony told me that he has some people working on the weekends sometimes, but we're gonna start hitting the graffiti, which is not nice to see for one thing. Then the street vendors, we have to get to a point, Enrique, we gotta take their stuff away. That's the only way you're gonna keep them out of here. I know that you have Saturdays, you have a couple of the code enforcement working in there. But on Sundays, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, we get him in. We got some taqueros again. I had to call Carlos on that. Because if you give him a little inch, they'll take a whole foot. We gotta be strict, and Carlos is doing his job. I called him up this afternoon before I came to the meeting, and I told him where was a taquero. I went by and I talked to the taquero. I told him, you cannot be here. And that's when I called Carlos. They picked up and they left.
Time is up, sir.
Thank you.
Ready? Thank you for letting me have a translator. I want to thank the mayor and council for the 5-0 vote to get rid of a corrupt, dirty city attorney. We are also in the process of getting him fired out of Rialto Water Board also.
Gracias por permitirme el uso del intérprete. Quiero agradecerle al señor alcalde por haberse deshecho del corrupto abogado de la ciudad. También estamos tratando de hacer lo mismo en un consejo en la ciudad de Rialto.
I have on my hit list Monica Garcia, Paul Hernandez, Rose Tam, and Manny Carrillo next on the list.
Tengo en mi lista de posibles eliminados a Mónica García, Paul Hernández,
Monica Garcia, Paul Hernandez, Rose Tam, and Manny Carrillo.
Rose Tan and Manny Carrillo.
I want to tell anybody that's listening, you need to vote no on Measure BP. It's raising your taxes, and you will be paying much more money for sales tax, 0.75%.
Quiero decir a todos los que están escuchando que voten no en la medida de Baldwin Park Measure. Esto va a incrementar sus impuestos y van a pagar más impuestos, un porcentaje, 3/4 de porcentaje, 3/4 de 1%.
I'm going to read a statement that a guy emailed me, Daniel Rodriguez, who you have a lawsuit with.
Voy a leerles la declaración de un individuo que me escribió, Daniel Rodríguez, con quien ustedes tienen un pleito.
Hernandez, through Shannon via email, directed Daniel Rodriguez to buy $50,000 worth of hand sanitizer on May 2020.
Hernández, a través de Shannon, ordenó a Daniel Rodríguez que comprara $50,000 en un producto de limpieza sanitaria de manos en el 20 de mayo.
This guy lives down the street from Hernandez, is a big campaign donor for him.
Este individuo vive a media cuadra de Hernández y es un gran contribuidor a su campaña electoral.
This man is a friend of Hernandez. He got a consultant job after this was all done, after they made the city spend twice the amount of money for their COVID supplies.
Este hombre que tiene una firma de consultoría obtuvo un trabajo después de haber hecho gastar el doble de lo que te hubiera costado.
This man's name is Arf Alkan. I can't pronounce it right, but it's close enough. This man here got a token job as a consultant for the police department for 1 year for $24,000.
Este hombre, cuyo nombre es Art Alcon, no sé si estoy pronunciando correctamente su nombre, pero es más o menos así, obtuvo un premio por haber hecho un trabajo de consultoría con la policía por $24,000.
Hernandez conspired to waste city money and overspend on all this COVID supplies that the city used.
Hernández conspiró de gastar este dinero en comprar estos suplementos, digamos, estos artículos con dinero de la ciudad.
I've turned this information over to the FBI, which will be going to the DOJ, just like they're going with the DOJ with Chief Taylor with Robert Tafoya, and also Monica Garcia is the name down on this.
He entregado esta información al FBI, que a su vez será entregada al Departamento o al Ministerio de Justicia, e incluye al jefe Taylor, Robert Tafoya, y Mónica García está incluida también.
So this investigation is just starting, and it will end very quickly because we have enough proof and a witness with emails for this, and I hope the city takes it under review.
Esta investigación que acaba de empezar va a terminar rápido porque tenemos muchas pruebas que pueden presentarse y espero que la ciudad participe en esta revisión.
Now, I gave the city manager, I don't know how many months ago, a packet with Lozano. And I told you how much money his family owes the city, $25,000.
Le he dado una información al administrador de la ciudad con la información de Lozano. Esta información incluye montos que alrededor de $25,000.
His father got a loan on his house when Manny was a mayor. And when he passed away, the loan was never taken care of. And the city needs to collect that $25,000.
Su padre obtuvo un préstamo cuando Manny era el alcalde y cuando falleció el padre este préstamo nunca se pagó. Entonces la ciudad necesita colectar estos $25,000.
I want to thank the police chief. One of those rare times I'm thanking you on that thing. But new officers, and I hope they can do us a good job.
Your time is up, sir.
I'm happy for it. Thank you.
Quiero agradecer al jefe de la policía, rara vez le agradezco, pero quiero hacerlo esta vez y espero que estos agentes de policía que han sido contratados hagan un muy buen trabajo. Gracias.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, elected officials. A few citizens of Baldwin Park. It's terrible that we don't have any 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds in here telling you when you're doing right and when you're doing wrong. Unfortunately, it seems like most of the time, there's nobody here to point it out to you. This individuals did. And I'll word it a little bit different. One of them has been asking, where's the other members that are missing, elected? Could you have a direct answer, maybe just for my benefit? Are they getting paid? Or when they run, do they have to declare, I am of sound mind, of sound health? I will be able to perform my duties. What excuse is them? Now, on the positive side, we did have some awards and police that has, we have added on more police. And I say that as on the positive side, and I wish them all good health, good luck. Now, what do I have? After seeing so many things that are wrong, I said, gee, I can't even address this. So I'll just go outside and going into some of the things that are. I'm still very much against the CV. Now, I asked the mayor, well, not exactly the mayor, but he answered it, and I thank him for that being very brief. I'm still very much against it. Now, if we can control cigarette sales in Baldwin Park, why can't we control this? Now, yes, funds that come out, grants, we were told, they're not free. Somebody pays for it. No grants, county, state, federal, they are not free. Somebody's going to pay for it. If we're not paying right now from it, your son or your grandkids are going to be paying for it. And that is something that why the cost of living is so high. I believe it was the mayor that pointed out to the police department that we would like to see them outside their role And I'm assuming that it's a mingle in the community. I never see anyone of my officials over here out in the community at Sunday services, shopping, or anything at all. In order to know how the city feels, your residents, you have to go out there and mingle. The bicycle path, I would like to see at least somebody using it. I never see more than
Your time
one
is up, sir.
person.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Buenas noches a todos, me llamo Abel, asesor por 42 años en Baldwin Park. Y mi comentario es otra vez, es que tengo muchos clientes y mis clientes están quejando mucho que hay mucho robo en Baldwin Park de los catalísticos. Y
Good evening. My name is Abel, and I've been in Baldwin Park for over 42 years. I'm a businessman, and the comment I have tonight is that I have spoken with many of my clients who have been complaining about the robbery of the catalytic converters.
y le llaman a la policía y la policía no pasa por allí, no van a veces a mandar reporte y la gente se enoja porque pues ahora tenemos más policías y creo que estamos igual como antes. Tenemos que superar eso.
And the police is being summoned, and the police sometimes they don't come, and when they come, they take reports, but there's not much they can do. And we have more police officers now, and I think it's time to improve this.
Ahora el otro complaint es de que los jóvenes están viniendo de regreso a Baldwin Park y pues yo trato de correrlos, pero yo no es mi trabajo, me pueden pegar o algo, ¿verdad? Tiene que ir la policía a ayudarme un poco de eso para limpiar, porque llega uno, llegan 10.
The other complaint I have is in regards to the homeless individuals that are coming back to Baldwin Park, and I've been trying to keep them away, but they can be aggressive and they can attack me, and and that's not my job. So the police needs to do that, and if we try to handle one, then 10 show up.
Ahora sí, los concejales, todos tienen que caminar a la ciudad para que vean cómo está la ciudad, porque a veces está muy cochino y eso se ve mal. Yo saco las fotos para enseñar, me las piden y tan bonito que está y de repente vuelven a ensuciar, es muy caro, volver a limpiar sale muy caro para nosotros que pagamos los taxes.
And the council needs to interact a little bit more. They need to come out and interact with the community, be out on the streets to see, and to do, sometimes it's really dirty, and then they clean it up, and I take pictures of all this to show this, and then they get it dirty again, and this is very expensive, and frankly, this expense is covered by us, taxpayers.
También quiero dar las gracias a Anthony, Cirillar, a Sam, que están esperando conmigo cuando llamo que los vecinos tienen algún problema, yo les llamo y han atendido, todavía me han atendido, gracias.
I also want to thank Anthony and Sam because when there's a problem with neighbors and I've called them, they have been very helpful and have assisted me.
También mi otro comentario es que yo no estoy de acuerdo que suban los sales tax en Baldwin Park porque yo compro mucho en Baldwin Park y voy a pagar más ahora y negocio en Baldwin Park por muchos años.
The other comment I have is in regards to the increment of the tax. I don't want you to increment the tax because I will have to pay more. I buy a lot of stuff in Baldwin Park and I'm going to have to pay more.
También no queremos gente corrupta en Baldwin Park, queremos que todos trabajen con nosotros, estamos unidos porque sería una vergüenza que la corrupción esté con nosotros y no estamos de acuerdo en eso.
Also, we want no corruption in Baldwin Park. We don't need corrupt people, and we want to work together with government, and the corruption would be something negative.
Cuando nosotros votamos por las elecciones, votamos por los alcaldes, los concejales que nos creemos nosotros que son buenas personas que corren la ciudad como nosotros queremos y que no nos vean diferente por atrás, que no estén traicionándonos.
And when we voted for the mayor, for the council members, we vote for them because we want them to do what we want, and we want them to be good people. We don't want to be stabbed in the back.
Ok, es todo. Gracias por escucharme.
That is all. Thank you for listening.
Great. If nobody else is looking to speak, I will move to close public communications. And we will go ahead.
Mayor, if I may, before you go to consent calendar.
Yes, go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to close on behalf of Carmen Munoz. She was a longtime resident of the city of Baldwin Park. She passed away last Saturday at the age of 93. And I just want to send her our condolences to the Munoz family. And just very briefly, touching on Measure BP and some of the ballot measures that they said we spent millions of dollars on to put on the ballots. We only put 4 ballot measures on. The other one, Measure CB, was put on by that committee that made the signatures for the ballot. But I just want to clarify that we didn't spend additional money to put those ballot measures on the ballot. There was a cost for the amount of either 2 or 5 that you would put on. But most importantly, if you look at the ballot measures and you read the ballot measures, you're coming to complain about the past administrations or corruption. If you look at that, we are maintaining our accountability and transparency on the city council. And one of the some of the ballot measures that we have are term limits, campaign limits, and rotating mayor. So I don't think that those ballot measures will be put on if you're a corrupt politician. Also on Measure BP, which is a sales tax, we hear a lot about the streets being dirty. We're not having enough staff, enough police. Well, all of this costs money. So what we need to do is find a solution how we're going to be able to address all of these issues and making sure that we have the adequate revenue to be able to cover expenses, to be able to move into the future and have this there for future generations to come. So that's the reason why Measure BP was on there, among other things. But I would recommend our residents to go onto our website, get educated, educate yourself as to what Measure BP is all about, or speak to us, ask us, feel free to reach out to me personally, or come out to some of our educational community meetings and ask us questions. We're here for transparency, and we would be more than happy to have an open dialogue with you guys. So thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And I just want to reiterate your comments. We put those ballot measures on there so that the community could decide on these things. Term limits are incredibly important. I think it's up to the community to decide on that. Voting for the top 3 vote getters instead of a mayor and 2 council members, I think that's an important topic. And campaign contributions, keep hearing about this money going around and how we feel that certain things are conflicts of interest. Well, it's important that you vote on these. We want you to have a say in these efforts. Not everything is as council members. We're here to make a lot of decisions, but I think that there are certain decisions that have to be reinforced by the community, and some of those are on that ballot measure. Once you reinforce and you decide whether you want these things or not, council can't come back and change them up, right? And so if you feel that there is more need for transparency, more need for watchdogs, then these ballot measures are there for you. We just want to reiterate on that. And then, so we are at consent calendar, and we have items 1 through 8. So if there's any items council would like to pull, I'd like to pull item number 3.
Item 5, please.
Item 5. Any other items?
Mayor, did you pull item number 8? I believe it was number
No.
4. Number 4.
Okay. We have 3, 4, and 5. Is there any other items?
Sorry, I made a mistake. It was not 5, it was 4, but that's fine.
Okay.
So we can move 5 on consent.
So it's items 3 and 4. So I'll make a motion to pass consent calendar excluding items 3 and 4. Can I get a second? City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila. Yes. Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you for that. And so item number 3 is the city financial assistance for Baldwin Park Unified School District. Student field trips, operating agreement in form of a memorandum of agreement. And so I know that we've been kind of talking about this for a couple of months. I just want to reiterate what a big deal it is for the city to be working with the Baldwin Park Unified School District. And, you know, for some reason, it's just not common for the schools and the cities to be working together, not just here, but in general, right? And so a lot of the times we hear a lot of kind of fighting about jurisdictions and we should be working together. And the truth is that Baldwin Park students are Baldwin Park residents. And as we talk about wanting our children to have opportunities, as we want them to be safer, as we want them to grow up and have those advantages that other cities have, we have to work together. And so, you know, as one of the only parents on this council, I understand how important that is. So I want to make sure that the next generation of children have opportunities regardless of their zip code. And I always mention that, how important it is to make sure that working class children and children of color, regardless of their income status or their family's income status, have these opportunities, because this is going to help them develop better, younger, healthy adults. And it gives them those opportunities. I know some of the school district administration and I went to support one of the students in New York, and I thought it was such a great idea. Her mom wasn't able to go because she had to work full time, and she just wasn't able to take the time. And so for the school district to take time out of their day to support their student, I think is a big deal. But we want to make sure that more students have that opportunity to go out and see beyond Baldwin Park, develop, see what's out there, that they learn that there's a bigger world out there, and they hopefully bring back those ideas that make Baldwin Park better. So I think that item number 3 is an important, very, very big step that we're taking, and I'm very excited. If any council members have any comments?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, go ahead, Councilwoman Avila.
Thank you for your comments. I absolutely agree that our children need more opportunities, and we do need to work together with the school district because they are our residents. As a former parent of Baldwin Park Unified School District students, and back then is when the cut started, you know, from the performing arts to different field trips taken away from our students because of budgeting. We shouldn't separate them and us. Them, the Baldwin Park Unified School District, and the city, we're all the same people. We work together, we work for the same goals to build leaders. So working as a city with the district is what we should be doing, not only today, but we should continue it in the future for the future generations, so that the children do have those opportunities like the one that you took to New York. Because like you said, a lot of kids have never been out of Baldwin Park. This is the first place that they have lived in, and they probably don't even see themselves out of Baldwin Park. But if we help give those opportunities, it would be amazing for them. It would open their eyes and have more opportunities in life. So I definitely agree with item number 3. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you. Appreciate bringing this item. That's why I was very excited to, you know, double the money when it was brought to us from the first time from 60,000 to 120,000. Because again, you know, as each of you have already mentioned, the positive outcomes that come out with having new experiences. My only thing that I have, and this is for staff or maybe for the school district, is how are we going to prioritize or allocate the money amongst elementary, middle school, and high school students? There's nothing in the report that speaks to that. So can I just get some clarification on that?
Yeah, I will address it first. Councilmember Hernandez, and of course, Dr. Angela is here as well. So you saw not just in the report, but in the agreement that we stipulated 3 different categories of the types of field trips that would be eligible for funding. And one is being able to expand existing field trip opportunities. These are field trips that the school district already runs, has had in their portfolio for some time, but it's limited to the number of students that it can reach. That category would expand the number of students that could participate in that. So that is intended for be eligible for all the schools. not just one level of school, one type of school. Then there's a category number 2, which would be new field trips for the schools. School field trips that some schools have never, had not yet identified in the past, or will be doing for new. And then category 3 will be for the school district level kind of field trips, the more complex field trips, such as going to Sacramento, going to Washington, D.C., New York, those that require more organizing, in some cases even a third party that will come in and the school district will bring on board to be able to organize and do all the logistics planning. So those 3 categories. The intent of the school district is to make the funding available to all of the schools, elementary, middle schools, and high schools. So because there's some organic aspects to how field trips become a reality, I think, Angela, why don't you come up?
If you may, Enrique, I appreciate that. I read that. It still doesn't answer the question.
Yeah,
that I asked. And so, Angela, when you're coming up here, the only thing I want to make sure is it the principals, or who's the one that's going to be submitting, for the request? Because again, I just want to make sure that, it's not necessarily on the teacher's responsibility to make these suggestions, because again, they have plenty of other stuff going on with that piece. So it's, I just want to make sure that each school, to some degree, if possible, gets an allocation of somewhat spreading the money around equally. So that way they know however that mic works out.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to share. We've had several meetings with the city. It's been very productive, brainstorming ideas. And so we came to a determination that we would take the 120,000 and basically divide it by the number of student population in the entire district to create a per capita amount. And so it's approximately $10 per student. That means a school with 200 will get $2,000 of the funds. A school with 400 will get $4,000 of the funds. And that was our way to be equitable across the schools. It doesn't mean that every student will get to go on a trip with the funds, because $10 for a trip isn't sufficient, but at least it made it equitable based on the sizes of the school. Okay. At that point, then the principals will work with their leadership teams to determine which additional field trips they want to do, or possibly expansions. And they will have some level of autonomy, but we have built into the process a district level of approval as well as a city level of approval. It's written into the memo of agreement that no funds will be reimbursed for these trips without city approval of the chosen activity.
Thank you. That's very clear. I don't think that was in the report, but I'm happy to hear that you guys are thinking about that, because that's really what my concern was. So thank you. Appreciate it.
And then for the
Thank you, Dr. Salazar.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for being here today. For the field trips, I know there's 3 categories. So, one of the, when there's something like, let's say, like a lot of our teams have been making it to CIF, to special teams or organizations, and they also apply for those specific purposes.
So we're definitely going to explore along the way, but at our most recent principals meeting, we actually did discuss this opportunity and share with the principals an approximation of the amounts allocated. And with high schools in particular, they do have more funding than other schools because of their size. So they get more of our federal funding and our state funding based also on the population size. We also talked about how the intent was to create opportunities that don't already exist. So more than likely, those CIF trips will still get funded as they have always been in the past. And we would use this fund to do something more and different. And so I'll use a different example of our STEM Academy. It has gone on some competitions, and we've been using other district funding to support those trips. Kids who are eligible have been going. They haven't had a denial of access, so that won't be necessary. And we really are trying to be in line with the vision of the City Council when you allocated these funds to us several months ago to expand opportunity. So if for some odd reason there is a challenge for a student in an existing STEM Academy competition or sports, we already have a district system built in where the school can petition to the district for funds to help the kids who couldn't possibly do it on their own. So hopefully we wouldn't need to access these funds for those types of situations because we want to honor the intent of the council to do more and different opportunities that hadn't existed in the past.
Okay. Nice. All right. Is there any more questions?
I just want to say, being part of CIF for 4 years while my son was in wrestling, they do pay for the CIF trip. They pay for the transportation and they pay for the whole hotel stay since it's always away, and they pay for the entrance fee when it comes to CIF. So I am aware of that.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure that, just, I guess, well, one of the goals is to make sure that, we don't have to see like our athletes or our musicians or our artists out there having to, fundraise, selling box of chocolates when, they should be preparing for their big event and not have to worry about those funds. So, okay.
I'm not going to lie, there will probably still be fundraisers.
But not as many as what,
Yeah.
Right, possibly, but I'll be honest, you're still going to see those chocolate bars coming across your doors.
One thing, Mayor, there is, they do a lot of fundraising. Yes, you're right, because there isn't enough funds during the school year to provide funds for every single sport. I do know that, for example, for basketball, for football, for wrestling, they have camps that they can go to in the summer that they don't have funds for me. So maybe if some of that funding can go to that, because if you look at Mount View, you look at example, different high schools that have amazing wrestling teams. That's because these students wrestle year round and they go to camps where they teach them special techniques. So maybe if we can allocate, not just wrestling, of course, but the rest of the sports, special camps that they can go to off season, that would help our teams as well. Because for that, they do have to fundraise and pay on their own.
Of course.
Okay. The only caveats we put in the agreement is one, that we not give the district funds to backfill their own funds. So that was very clear. We did say that, there has to be an educational value. I mean, to the extent that a sport activity is tied to an educational value, I guess that's how we can interpret that. But everything else, I think, is pretty much open.
Okay, good. Nice. Great.
Yes.
Very nice. Okay, so I will make a motion to pass item number 3. Can I get a second?
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you for that, City Clerk. And as we move to item number 4, I believe, Sam, you have a presentation for us.
Yes, so in anticipation of some of the questions regarding the budgeting of the project, we did put a very short presentation outlining some of the funding. And if the council will indulge us, we'd like to go over some of the questions in budgeting regarding the project. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Right, let's start first by sharing my screen.
So I've asked Romani, our engineering manager for the Public Works Department, to prepare and present the information.
Right, good evening, Mayor. Good evening, council members, city staff, and members of the audience. My name is Romani Baselios, and today I'm going to present to you the Susan Robio Socalo Park and Civic Center Plaza. Let me give you a brief history about this project. The Susan Robio Socalo and Civic Center Plaza will be a transformative project located at the heart of the city downtown, adjacent to City Hall at the intersection of Pacific and Main Avenue. It's right across the City Hall. So this project will include a walkable plaza, a new park with public art pieces, retail space, monument sign, water conservation features, ADA accessible pedestrian walkway, bike lanes, and day-finding signage. Let me show you the existing condition right now of this project. As we can see here, this is the existing condition, and this section of the street gonna be evacuated. As we go to the left side, we see this underutilized parking lot, which we're gonna transfer to a state-of-the-art park for the public use. We also see these buildings that we're gonna demolish to make more space. So this is a rendering of the project, as we can see here. At the left bottom corner, we see the retail space that we looking into building and leasing. In the center of the park, we have a monument. And right after this, on the top, we're gonna have a big Christmas tree for Christmas lighting and gathering for the public and city events. So on September 21st, the city advertised the project in the San Gabriel Tribune and posted the construction documents on Planet Bids. By the way, Planet Bids is one of the biggest and biggest platform for project advertisement and bid documents. So we advertise the project on Planet Bids. And on October 12, the project bid was publicly opened, and a total of 1 bid was received. PCNC's Inc. of Los Alamitos give us a bid in the amount of $8.9 million. So let me break down the project for you. So this project has 3 different parts. The first one is the main plaza street improvement, and the cost for this part is about $7.3 million. The second section is the retail building for a cost of about $3.7 million. And finally, the East Plaza for about the cost of about $1.6 million. Just to give you an explanation of what's going on. So the base bid was about $8.9 million, which included the first and the third part. So the main plaza, street improvement, and East Plaza. We had the retail building as an option on the side, is adding to the project. So in this item that presented to the council members today, we're looking in doing item number 1 and 2, which is the main plaza and the retail building. For the East Plaza, we're looking into having this project for a future development. In the future project, we might include the East Plaza. So let's talk about the budget for this project. So as we can see here, initially we had a grant for $6 million it's a state grant, and we spent some money on design and graphic design study as well. So we right now have about $5.5 million, which is about 47% of the project. Pre-identified funds. So long time ago in our mind, in the design of the project, we had in mind to use Measure W fund for about $1 million, which is going to represent about 8% of this project. We have QMP for about $1.1 million of this project, and it's about 9%. And finally, SP1 from it's a $1.5 million, which is about 13%. SP1, it's a state tax fund, and we looking to use this money for the 100% street improvement. So, and we're looking to request some funds today from 2 different resources. The first one is from ARPA. It's about $1.2 million, which is about 10% of the project cost. The second one is actually a loan from the future development from about $1.5 million, and it's free of interest, which is about 13% of this project. So today I was asking about 23% of the project to be requested for funds. So that brings the total project cost to be about $11.8 million. Let me get into more details about the two requested funds. The first one is from ARPA. As we can see here, as the council members are aware of, we received about $22 million allocated from ARPA funds, and we split that into two halves. The first one was from the community set aside, which is about $11 million. And the second half was the city set aside for the other half. And today we are not gonna touch the community set aside. We're gonna use the other city, which is set for projects towards the community. We're gonna have a revenue loss of about $1.2 million. That's what we're requesting today from the first fund. The second one is a loan from the Future Development Fund. So in this project, we're gonna build a retail building. So we're gonna lease this building and we get revenue to the city. So we are estimating a revenue of about $10,000 to $12,000 per month, which is about $120,000 to $144,000 per year. Again, it's an estimate. And we're looking into using this fund. 65% of it will go back to city programs, different city programs. And the 35% we're gonna use to pay back the loan that we're gonna get. And again, it's an interest-free loan to be paid back from leasing the retail space. And finally, it's gonna be 65% revenue to be used for various city programs. And this concludes my presentation for today. And I would be more than happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
thank you. Well, I pulled this item because I just wanted to speak to some new developments and also some changes from when we first were looking at this project. First of all, let me say thank you to staff for this great presentation. It was very well done and explained very well as to the funding sources. And I want to thank Sam and Public Works for working very diligently on this project. And I know that the council has made this project a priority. Early on, when we talked about it, maybe about a year and a half ago, I expressed that I would support any project that brings improvement to the community. But my concern with this project is that we're closing a section of Little Main between Pacific and Sterling Way. And I wanted to be really clear, and I would ask our Deputy City Clerk, Lourdes Morales, to record that my concerns are that we're going to close this street and it's going to cause circulation issues along Pacific Avenue. Years ago, we implemented safe routes to school. Why? Because there were pedestrian vehicular collisions resulting in fatalities. One of those fatalities was a young girl on Main Avenue. So we did a road diet along Main Avenue that impacted Pacific. And it was over 10 years and community driven after residents along Main Avenue complained about speeding and, children crossing the street in very dangerous conditions. So we made those changes and we've received so much pushback from the community, although I will say that I do see a lot of cyclists using the bike lanes, and the residents along Main Avenue have expressed that they are happy about the traffic slowing down because it's safer for their families. But if we close this little section of Little Main between Pacific and Sterling Way, it's going to significantly impact the circulation of traffic. It's going to bottleneck Pacific Avenue and into Main Avenue and Ramona. And I don't think that's something that we are really taking into consideration right now. But I'll tell you, once we make those changes, our community is not going to be happy. Mark my words, and please, Deputy City Clerk, please note this for the record, that I'm expressing concerns about this with regard to this project. I've expressed those concerns consistently since the beginning of this project. And I've said that I would support it if we kept this street open. So here we are now, and the street is being closed. But in addition to that, we are looking at new funding sources. At the time that we were looking at this project, it was proposed to be about a $7 million project. And we, allocated about 8 million. 6 million of that was from the state per Senator Susan Rubio, and then about 2 million from local funds. But since then, we're now looking at additional funding that is worrisome for me. Specifically, there's 1.5 million that is coming from the future development funds, and that will be paid back over 30 years. Okay, that's great. But what about housing needs now? So we're using 1.5 million for this park that could go towards creating affordable housing or other uses that benefit our community. The other one was the ARPA. I was concerned that ARPA was provided to cities so that we could, assist our communities with the hardship that was created because of the pandemic. So, I love the idea that we used ARPA funds to improve our bathrooms at the facilities, and, families, I'm sure, are using our programs now more than ever after that pandemic. But that we're looking at 1.5 million of ARPA funds for this project, I feel like that is a reach for me. I'm sorry, 1.2 million. That is a reach for me. The other piece is the SB1 funds. We're also looking at 1.5 million of SB1 funds, which are the gas tax funds. And that is supposed to go towards the improvement of our streets. I've driven around with our public works staff and have pointed out the different streets that need repair. And, I've been a very strong advocate for repairing alleys and streets for as long as I've been a council member. So when I see 1.5 million going towards one project where the street's going to be closed, I get, and I'm glad that there's going to be a buffer. That's good. That's good along Pacific, that if this project does move forward, which I'm sure that it will, that there is a buffer for pedestrian safety along Pacific. So my concern, though, is, how we're using these funds, because I would rather see 1.5 million go towards street improvement in the community. I just want to express, that this is a different number altogether, nearly $12 million for construction costs of a park that's going to close the street, and it's beautiful. But, if we were going to propose a $12 million project, I think I would rather see a sports complex where thousands of our children could, participate daily. So anyway, all of that said, I am at the place where I can't support this because I would rather use future development funds for housing. I would rather use SB1 funds to repair our streets. And I would rather use ARPA funds to go directly for the benefit of, of families and, our community that's really going to utilize this, this money. I think the Zocalo is, it's beautiful and it will make an improvement. We've been wanting to improve that site for a long time now. But I just kind of question who it's going to serve exactly. And my concern is it's going to create kind of a central park where we just kind of attract, some of the negative element on a more regular basis versus occasional special events. So with that, I'm going to say that I will not support this project.
Great, thank you. And City Clerk, Chief Deputy City Clerk, you can go ahead and make sure you put me on the record as well. So this site has been going back and forth in discussion for far too long. If this park would have been built when it was first developed and when everything was planned ready, it would have cost the city $6 million. So this is the aftermath of what happens when you don't follow through with a project. Second, we're going through inflation. Of course, the price is going to change from last year. We have to hire people with livable wages. We have to give them benefits, and that's just the way it works. Everybody knows that. So the inflation is no secret to anybody. Second, we're talking about closing the street. Personally, I've never heard anybody compliment Main Street. I hear constant annoyance about it because it takes us 20 to 30 minutes to get to the freeway before we even get on. So I just have to disagree with that comment wholeheartedly. About closing the street, the old council was planning on building 80 units here with no parking. Where were those cars going to park? That was going to cause congestion. We're talking about money. I can only assume that if the Rome development here, phase 3 went through, it was going to be the exact same thing that happened with the lot right next to the police department, where we give somebody a loan to buy something off of us. It's been 6 years and we haven't even seen $1 million in return. So, I think it's just important that we're honest about this. And I don't think this is about the money. I've seen the council spend money on worse things that didn't bring a return, like Be Proud, where we were almost in a $10 million deficit. Who is this going to benefit? It's going to benefit everybody. Because we know that we're park poor for one. We've been park poor for decades. People keep talking about wanting a downtown that they can enjoy. And this is what it's going to bring. That's what it's going to bring. It's bring development. If we're talking about affordable home housing, I presented a plan to build affordable housing just across the street and nobody supported it. So I don't think that that's what this is about, and I just have to be honest about that. I don't think that that's what it's about. We've had the opportunity to support housing. We've had the opportunity to support our streets. Every time we have an idea, we always think about another idea last minute on what we could have done with it. We're never going to get anywhere like that. And so, I wholeheartedly support this project. Did the price go up? Of course it did. We're going through inflation. Is this going to benefit everybody? Yes. And so to me, it's an important project. It's a great project. And it's time to just seal it, get it done, and just everybody has to realize that old projects are not coming back. The Zócalo is going to be built, and it's going to be something that everybody can enjoy.
Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you. I agree with the comments that you're saying. This project has been in the works for years, back when Senator Rubio and Councilmember Cruz Baca were on board, where this project was originally approved. And it wouldn't have cost what it is costing now. It was already planned, it was developed, it was ready, it was shovel ready, pretty much. Correct, Sam? It was shovel ready, but the project was canceled. They were outvoted and the project was canceled exactly for that, because they wanted to bring their own project. And they were going to close the street, and we were going to have problems with parking. At that time, I was a city clerk. When I became a council member 4 years ago, the first thing that I brought up was the Zócalo. I asked Sam to bring out the plans. He brought out the plans. He did a presentation, and it died right there. It did not continue. And as the mayor said, inflation has caused everything to go up. But because we have waited and we had sat on this project for years and years, our community would have been enjoying the Zócalo by now. It would have been up, we would have had more activities. Every time I went to the concerts in the park or the street market, the community is so excited that we're bringing these type of opportunities for them, this entertainment. And they're always asking, what are we doing next year? Where are we having an event? Always looking for new fun events to do in our community. I absolutely agree that the Zócalo should have been built a long time ago, but we can't live in the past. We do need to move forward. Unfortunately, the cost is what it is. And we have the funding and we will continue to look for funding. And that needs to be built. Our community deserves a nice place, an additional park, because we are park poor. So I also agree in continuing this project and accepting the funding that the allocations that you have provided, so we can continue on the project. It's a beautiful project. That Main Street, it's a mess. It's hard. If you're trying even to make a right turn, you can sit there for 5 to 10 minutes because you cannot come across. The last time we had the Christmas, the toy giveaway, a child almost got hit crossing the street right there because it is so wide, people speed, and there's no safety nets there. And now with the Zócalo there, people are not going to be speeding down Main Street. I've been talking to community members right there on Main, and the cars just speed by. There is no room for anybody to try to cross the street because they're just flying by there, and they use that street to just fly through town to get to the other side. So it's not safe for the residents that live on Main Street. It's not safe for us to turn onto Pacific, forget about making a left turn. There is no way we will ever make a left turn from there. So closing that street, it's actually going to provide a safety net for our community. It will make it better, and we will have more places for our community to enjoy. So I definitely agree with continuing with the project. And Mayor, if you would like to make the motion.
If I may, before you do that.
Or, sorry, Councilmember Hernandez, you have some comments as well?
Or Mayor Pro Tem.
Go ahead, Councilmember, I'll go after you.
Thank you. I just have a couple questions. Again, I'm excited to see this project come through. My concern, speaking with a lot more residents in regards to just outreach and so forth along the Little Main, I think that's an issue for me. The other pieces, of course, allocating $1.5 million that can be used for affordable housing. That's exactly right. Inflation is high and it's going to continue. And our residents are struggling. So why shouldn't we use some of that funding to help, build those affordable housing opportunities, grants? More importantly, they can be done for first-time home buyers, low interest or no interest grants for our residents, so they don't have to move out of our city. So those are the things that I'm concerned about, and I'd like to use that money in that sense. Sam, just out of curiosity, if we were to not close the streets, along Little Main, what would be the cost savings? Generally, I mean, I'm not going to hold you to feet to fire, but generally, what would that cost savings be if we leave that section open? With, of course, a little improvements and so forth.
Sure. Yeah. No, thank you. So long as not being hold to it, the estimate is around 1.6 million.
Okay. So again, my suggestion would be to leave that street open, that with some of the improvements, and also to speak to what Councilmember Avila just spoke to, is the safety concerns. I think we can mitigate those parts because I've ridden my bike through there time after time. I do it quite often when I'm just going to Portos or wherever I might be going to, and it's dangerous. If you're a cyclist, I'm telling you now, you do not want to go through that corner because it's been several times that I've almost been hit. I've seen other people almost get hit. So again, the speeding is a concern. But again, the other part that I'm also concerned is I don't think we've actually done any good outreach to the residents along that area. We have not done that. No one's told me that we've done an extensive outreach or any type of outreach besides just posting it on our website. That's not outreach to me. Sam, you were going to say something?
Oh, no, I was just going to mention that Ron, myself, and Victor did do a walkthrough, and we visited with all of the businesses there. But you're right. So we did engage with them. We told them all about the project.
I understand the businesses, but again, the residents down Sterling Way, down Byland, down Main, and all those other areas, I think they need to know what's happening. And it's one of those things that, again, I have no problem with the project. I think it's going to be beautiful, a nice passive park, because that's what it is. It's going to be a passive park where people are going to go and relax and, inspire to have, poems or whatever the case may be, read a book and so forth. But again, using $1.5 million of affordable housing for this type of project is not something that sits well for me. In addition to that, I have concerns in regards to Measure W. Sam, I know you've shared with me, but I think we're misusing the Measure W. $1 million for something that these funds are for is to clean and also do recycling water projects. Putting some storm drains to capture some of the groundwater in this project is not, we have better opportunities. I know of certain streets that I've shared with you, Sam, and others, that the water just drains, just sits there. So those are things that are important to our communities and so forth, not necessarily using $1 million for a project for project when we have residents, calling me, and I'm sure they called many of you, asking about when can I get my street, when can I get my alley repaired, and so forth. So for that reason, I can't support the funding the way it is. I'd be open to conversation to see if we can save some of that cost savings by, again, leaving the openness of Little Maine with some improvements and safety improvements, because again, that is a big concern for myself. I'd certainly be open to that conversation. But the way it is, as it stands, I think this is an overly bloated project the way it is. And again, if you guys don't do the retail part of it, that's the other part is, then there's no way of ever getting repaid those affordable housing projects funds over the course of 30 years. Thank you. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Great.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, go ahead, and then I'll have an extra.
So a couple of things. So I know that we were discussing the closure of Little Maine. We've had various presentations regarding this project over the last year and a half. And one of our options were, what would it look like, or what would it be like if we closed Little Maine or we left it open? We all agreed that closing Little Maine was to the best interest, because if we do build the Civic Plaza there, Park Plaza there, and we leave Little Maine open, it's going to jeopardize the public safety of the children that are visiting the area. So that's the reason why we decided to close Little Maine. Now, I've had this conversation with several people that were concerned about closing Little Maine. However, right now, people are upset because of the shrinking of Maine from literally Arrow Highway all the way to Pacific, because the project was a failure. Nobody used the bikes. The bikes are gone. And so now you have people complaining about that. There's nothing for them to be able to justify the shrinking of the streets. When you bring in a development like this to our downtown so that we can start to develop an actual downtown and attract different businesses so that we can generate more revenue, then that is a sacrifice that's worth doing, because now you're sacrificing closing that little street for a project that we've wanted as a community for many years. Now, we've already spent over $1 million on this project. There was over $500,000 spent back in, I don't know if it was 2015 when this project was shovel ready, and the city council at the time decided to shove the project and move forward with giving this to Rome to build apartments. And what happened? We lost $500,000. Now we've already spent another $500,000 for new design. So now we're out $1 million. Is it responsible for us to go and spend $1 million and say, you know what, forget it, we changed our mind, we're not going to go with this project? What are we going to do with the $1 million that we've already spent? That's reckless. Reckless is when you give it a land like where the Palomera projects are at over here on Ramona Boulevard and Badillo to a developer to build these units, and then you reduce the price because they couldn't build the units they thought they were going to build. Yet we sell the only historical building that we have left, which is the red brick building. They retrofitted it. We pay another $450,000 to purchase this back from the developer. And what happens to this building? It's sitting there vacant. Is that responsible? So talk about responsibilities. We need to make the right decisions here and making sure that we're not just throwing money out the window. Yes, I understand that the cost of this is a lot more than I wanted to spend, but the $6-7 million estimate was back in 2015. Here we are 7-8 years later. We can't expect for this project to cost the same. Now, I understand that there's, Measure W, Quimby, and SB1 funds. Sam, from my understanding, you had already set aside this money from these particular funds for the Sokola project, correct?
That is correct.
Now, the ARPA, we had $22 million that we received in ARPA funding from the federal government for us to be able to use to either rebuild or renovate our failing infrastructure in the city. So what we did was we allocated 50% for the community and 50% for the city. So this is a portion from what's coming out of the city. The future development fund, $1.5 million. Well, I think you're estimating it at $3 per square foot, and I think it's very cheap for that retail location. But if you have 3 units that you're building there for retail space and you lease them out, you have 2 units of 1,400 square feet, one at 1,200 square feet. If you lease this out at $350 per square foot, you're going to end up receiving a total of $14,000 monthly estimated. If we do a $1.5 million loan interest-free and we amortize this over 30 years, our payment roughly on that is going to be $4,167. So that's still going to leave us a profit of approximately $10,000 a month. So we're not going to be losing money and we're going to be paying back this loan. For me, I think this is something that's needed. I don't want to spend $1 million and just let it go down the drain and forget about this and come back and figure out what we're going to build in this area there that's an eyesore to many. I think our community deserves better. I think our community has been wanting a downtown that they can be proud of, that they can come and congregate with their friends and family, and then we can attract different types of businesses, because all I hear out there is all we're getting are Jack in the Boxes, Starbucks, McDonald's. That's all that we're hearing, and other cities are bringing in different types of businesses. So it's time that we start step it up and start to attract these other types of businesses and bring them to Baldwin Park, because our residents deserve better. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for that, Mayor Pro Tem, and I agree. And then just real quick, ARPA, it was designed to help our residents, yes, and we've done that. That's why we allocated half of it for our residents, and the other was to help ease the struggles that came from the pandemic. So that's what we're doing here. I hear a lot of people kind of complain or try to talk about the council spending this money. Well, that's what it was for. It's a one-time use money that you get to use on infrastructure, your community, and benefiting it. We're talking about needing revenue. We need to upgrade our downtown. And then for affordable housing, Councilwoman Avila, I think you were there. I think when we said no to the Rome project, which before Rome was luxury condos. So this has never been about affordable housing. I believe when we said no to that project, we said, why don't we allocate $10 million to affordable home ownership opportunities? And the very same people talking about affordable housing now didn't even entertain it. This has never been about affordable housing. Across the street, empty lot. You could have built affordable housing there. It wasn't built. You were trying to build market rate condos. Alameda, city property. You could have built affordable housing there. You built market rate condos. So this has never been about affordable housing. And to be honest, council doesn't have a record of building affordable housing. So it's just time to be honest and just say whether you want the project or not.
Mayor, I'd like to add to your comments.
Sure, go
I know
ahead.
that you like to disregard the Rome project, but that project brought 71 affordable units to our community. We received 1,000 applications for that project. And we were trying to have another phase very close by that would not have closed Little Maine, that would have kept Little Maine open. So I think what happens with this council is it tries to recreate history often to benefit, the narrative today. But I do disagree that we had an affordable housing project on the table, which this council, they declined, they opposed it. And so I disagree with you. I disagree with you that, there has been efforts before you were mayor, before this council, this quote unquote new council was here, there were efforts to bring affordable housing to the community. And actually that's when we started working with Habitat for Humanity. We brought in Rome. There have been different senior projects, including Telecu, even long before I was a council member. So I know that you like to dismiss the efforts of others so that it benefits your narrative. But I definitely want to say that the city has had a good number of affordable housing projects, and we were planning on doing more. But that's neither here nor there, because that was removed from the table more than a year ago. And what we're looking at is this park. So I've expressed my concerns and everybody else has expressed their opinion. So at this point, like I said, I oppose moving forward with this project as proposed. Again, because my concerns are closing the street and then the funding sources. If there's a reworking of it, great. we'll consider it. But that's where I stand at this point. So go ahead and make a motion.
I
and
will
we
make the
can move
motion when
along.
I'm ready, and I am the chair of this meeting, and so I will talk as long as I need to. And you're gonna have to respect that. I heard you. Have some respect.
But I am listening.
You don't have to do the, we don't want to smell your breath, first off.
Well, just relax, man.
And second off, this was never about affordable housing, Monica. We know that ENA didn't go through because they weren't doing their job, because they were relying on people like you who were taking thousands of dollars from them to let them give them a free pass. We know what the contract was like on the first one, and you tried to change that as well. The only person here that changes their narrative and it doesn't take responsibility for their actions is you. So with that being said,
Emmanuel, with all due
excuse me,
respect.
I'm talking,
Emmanuel, with all due respect.
excuse me, I'm talking here, and you need to respect that. So before I make a motion, I do want the council to consider adding extra ARPA funds so that we just complete the full project. I don't want to see this project be completed, be semi-complete, and then we have retail, we have an empty space where the retail should go. So
Emmanuel, with all due
excuse me,
respect,
I'm
I think it would be
talking
best
here,
if
and
you
you need
left
to
your
respect, excuse
conspiracy
me, I'm sorry,
theories
but
outside.
you're talking out
It
of
would
turn.
be best.
You're talking
It
out of
would be
turn.
best for the
You're talking
council
out of turn.
will,
I'm sorry, but you're talking out of turn.
and it would be
You're
best
talking out of
for
turn.
the way
I'm
that
sorry,
we
but
work
you're talking out of
together
turn.
to
I'm
leave
sorry,
to leave your
Councilwoman, but you're
tactics
talking out of
outside of the
turn.
council. Emmanuel,
I'm sorry,
thank you.
Councilwoman, but you're talking out of turn. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we will come back. So we'll be back at 9:36. Mark, are we all set?
Yes, we are live.
Great. So we are reconvening back in open session. So I'll make a motion to pass item number 4 with the necessary adjustments to make sure that the phase, including the buildings, gets built. Can I get a second?
Second.
City Clerk,
Mayor-
roll call, please.
Mayor, for clarification, is that the $11 million?
Correct.
Okay.
Great, thank you. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
No.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you for that. Maria, can you share with us the potential date for groundbreaking?
Yes, Honorable Mayor and council members, the groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled for Thursday, October 27th at 11 a.m. here at City Hall at the courtyard.
Great, thank you. So we expect to see everybody there. Move on to City Council acting as successor agency of the dissolved Community Development Commission. There's a consent calendar. I'll make a motion to pass that consent calendar. Can I get a second? City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez.
Yep.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you for that. So we are at our Finance Authority regular meeting. I will make a motion to pass that consent calendar. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you. Mayor Emmanuel Estrada,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And then we have our Housing Authority, and we have a consent calendar. Can I make a motion to pass the consent calendar? Can I get a second?
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila, Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you. I believe, City Clerk, do we have one more meeting?
No, Mayor, that is all.
Okay, great. So just double checking. I did want to make sure if PD and parking enforcement can check on the truck parking zone on Arrow, just so we can clarify if semis can park there or not. I know some people like to park there for lunch, and they may be getting some warnings. Just clarity on the map of where that parking zone is. I did have one more issue, and I think it's a very important one. A couple of years ago, there was the state audit that found that there was a potential pension spiking. And so as the DOJ brings out more and more information, it seems that there may have been something there. And if that's the case, I want our city to keep an eye on it, because I don't believe that that pension should be being paid for by our city taxpayers. I just want everybody to keep that in mind. So at this moment, we will reconvene in closed session.
Mr. Mayor, if I may before?
Yes, go ahead.
Chief, if I can get that report back when we talked about, when we were talking about the homeless task force and so forth, of what it looked like to either assign or hire a new police officer. That was back in September, so get back to us with that written report.
Yes, sir, we will, but as of Monday, we have an officer that's been assigned permanently to that position to work nothing but homeless and park issues. Then that's the result of Officer Jeremy Miranda is sitting back there. He was hired, so we were able to replace him with to bring Officer Jim Izzo into that fold. So that's his assignment. I will be able to give an idea as to how much time he's spending with our homeless issues, the number of contacts he's making, and those kind of things, in addition to the things we're looking at with Lakota and crisis response team as well. So I'll get with you and tell you the timeline for that.
Perfect. I appreciate that. And then in that sense, we can talk later. It's just, again, I just don't want it to impact, the patrol services and so forth. So
I was very cautious about that, and it didn't.
we'll talk about that in a second,
Yes, sir.
or at a later time. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Great, thanks. So at this moment, we will reconvene in closed session.
You stay here this time.
One, you may leave this meeting because they are not coming back to do the translation. Juan, are you still there?
Hi, Mark.
I'm not sure he heard you. Hi, Monica.
Hi. I didn't get a chance to say hi to him
Hi, Ruru.
earlier. I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Monica. I think they are back. Okay, so
Have we gotten an order to start again, Mark? I'm hovering over Granicus about to start recording.
give me a second. I need to go to the start one the meeting here.
Okay.
My dog.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, we live.
All right. Thank you for that, Mark. So, City Attorney, do you mind reporting out?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. The City Council reconvened in closed session pursuant to the special meeting agenda. There were still some remaining items, including Daniel Rodriguez versus City of Baldwin Park, Matthew Rodriguez versus City of Baldwin Park, a workers' compensation case involving Andrew Cellabill, and also I should also report out on the issue of public employment concerning the Chief Deputy City Clerk. With respect to those items that were discussed, City Council provided direction on some of those items, and we have no reportable action as no action was taken. That concludes the report.
Thank you for that, City Attorney. So at this moment, there is no other official city business, so I will go ahead and make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any objections? If not, meeting is adjourned. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.